this is Kevin with softwaremedia.com, and today I'm going to be running you through a basic tutorial using the new Corel Painter 11 software. Okay, so what I'm going to do today, what I'm going to show you how to do, is take this photo here of a nice boat on some dry land and turn it into a pretty good looking oil still life painting. I'm going to show you how to do this quickly and easily using Corel Painter 11. Okay, so once you have Corel open, you want to get your photo open, and the first thing you want to do is create a clone of your photo. Just go to File, Quick Clone here. Basically what this does is just creates a copy of your photo and starts you off with a blank white canvas you can see over here. And what we have here is basically an overlay, or tracing paper if you will, of our boat photograph for some guidance. This little button over here underneath the close window toggles the tracing paper on and off, and if you hold it down you can actually change the transparency of your tracing paper. The lower you go on the percentage, the more the boat photo will show through. Okay, so now you have your clone set up. First thing you want to do, first thing I always do is create a new layer for each and every step that I'm working on. That way you kind of preserve your work, and if you make any mistakes you can just delete that layer and go back and start over. So now that we have a new layer, what we want to do is set up our paper first and foremost. Click over here on the left, and I think today what we want to use is the artist canvas. So we'll select artist canvas there, and basically sets up our texture. Once you have that done, you can go over here to your brush tool, and we're going to be using the simple cloner brush today. What that does is picks up color and hue information from our underlying photo, so you really don't have to work with colors at all. It makes it nice and easy to get started. So that on the cloner brush menu here, the first thing we want to use is the chalk cloner. We want to use a nice big brush size. We're just basically going to be filling in the background of our canvas here with some color information to kind of fill up some space. So we have our brush at about 50, opacity at 60, and the grain at 12%. Those are all good settings here just to get started. So what you want to do is just nice big broad brush strokes. You just kind of want to add some texture to your canvas, and we'll start working with our background and our sky here first. Don't worry about filling in the gaps completely. We're just trying to get some background information on the so if you want to turn off the tracing paper, you can see exactly what we've done so far. Without the tracing paper on there, you can see it's quite vague. You can't really tell what's going on. It's just more some background color information that's going to help once we get some oil on the canvas here. So we'll turn our tracing paper back on, and next thing we want to do is switch brushes to the oil brush cloner. There we are. So with the oil brush, we're gonna start adding in some texture and basic outlines of our shapes. So I want to start with kind of our focal point of our photograph here, which is the boat. I set my brush right about 20, and my opacity is at 72. So what you want to start doing when you get going here is just kind of tracing the outline of your boat. Alright, now that that's done, we want to switch to a little bit of a bigger brush here. Let's get something up around 30. And we'll start just painting in our ground here that the boat is sitting on. Once again, kind of want to switch to a slightly bigger brush. I want to just put in some highlights here for the clouds. So we'll make some kind of just broad, generalized strokes here for the clouds. Let's bring down our brush size just a little bit. Start giving it some texture. Okay. Now I want to bring it down just a little bit more. And we'll start filling in some of the sky around the clouds. Again, just be pretty liberal with the application here. Can't really screw it up too bad. It's going more of for an impression style, still life, not really doing anything super detailed here. Okay, so you can turn off your tracing paper and kind of see what we're looking at, and basically you just want to go through here and fill in your gaps and highlight the edges of your clouds here, and make sure everything's all filled in and looking great, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, as you're finishing up here, our next step is going to be to switch to the smeary bristle cloner. What we want to do is select the brush there and then create a new layer, and kind of our objective with this brush is to just bring out some highlights on some of the edges of our main important elements here in the photo. So if you turn our transparency back on, it kind of helps you navigate and find the edges here, and once you kind of have the edges highlighted, you can turn your transparency back off and you can see exactly what's going on here with your smeary bristle brush. So just kind of find the important parts of your photo and go to work. I'm kind of highlighting the boat here and some of the horizon, and if you look at the layer below, which is our oil paint layer, you can turn that off to see exactly what this brush is doing as you're highlighting here. So we're going to kind of go through and make sure everything's looking good and add some details to our edges here. Okay, so as you're finishing up here with your smeary bristle brush, what you can do is go up to Effects, and under Tones, you can adjust the brightness and contrast of our photo here. So what we kind of want to do is just bump up the contrast a couple of notches here. Basically just make our colors pop a little more. You can see it brings out the reds here on our boat a little bit better, and just give us a little bit better feeling for the painting overall. And yeah, we switch back to our photo. You can see the original and the final here. It's looking pretty good. So basically that's how to take a photo and turn it into a good oil still life in just a few minutes using Corel Painter 11. This is Kevin. Thanks for watching.